Hey Shio, do you have any idea who our keynote speaker is?
No, Tahira. Can you drop some clues?
Well, our keynote speaker currently works with the Lotus Petal Foundation to help underprivileged children in India receive education, proper nutrition, and healthcare. Additionally, she writes about her experience as a woman of color and current events in her blog, That's Fan Behavior.
Wow, we're already off to an impressive start.
She collected over 1,000 books for the Bridge of Books Foundation to donate to inner city kids in New Jersey and co-founded the Diversity and Inclusion campaign at her school.
She sounds like she's definitely accomplished a lot and is probably around her age.
You're on the right track. Our keynote speaker also authored and illustrated her book, The White Jaguar, to inspire people of all ages to embrace what makes them unique. The book incorporates 4 languages: Spanish, English, Hindi, and French, all in which she speaks.
I'm definitely blown away against 4 languages. Can you give me one final hint?
Okay, here's a big clue. She was the first Mexican-Indian Miss Teen USA.
It sounds like we should be giving a warm welcome to the one and only UmaSofia Srivastava.
Well, thank you for that amazing intro. I hope I can live up to the expectations, guys. But I'm honestly so honored to be in front of all of you today. First, among such amazing trailblazers that we're hearing about on this stage, but every one of you who are change makers in your own right. Anyone else spending their weekend with Girl Up? No, you guys are specially selected, and I'm so proud of all of you. So I just want to give you guys a round of applause. So when I was invited here and learned of the summit's theme of Rest and Resist, I asked myself what those words truly meant to me. I immediately thought of my recent escape to Arizona this past April, which unexpectedly reminded me exactly why rest is the path to resistance. If you had asked me in January 2023 why I would even need an escape from my life, I couldn't have told you. Transferring schools to leave bullying behind marked a change in myself that reflected on the rest of my year. That March, I won the title of Miss New Jersey Teen USA, which gave me a larger platform for my advocacy for accessible education while exploring an entirely new side of myself. Then, over the summer, I began the process of writing, illustrating, and publishing my multilingual children's book, The White Jaguar, which would go on to become a Barnes & Noble's bestseller the very same night that I was crowned the first Mexican-Indian Miss Teen USA. It seemed as though my world was limitless, and that the young girl who had been told no countless times, who spent her lunches in the library and her free time volunteering, resisted long enough to finally hear a resounding yes. However, this January, things were a little bit different. It became clear to me that not everything you pursue in life plays out how you hope it will. So from the outside, it looked like I had it all, but that was far from the truth. Maintaining my high academic standards while having to keep up with expectations and my own promise as a national leader without the promised help had left me more lost than ever, as well as having to navigate the media that then would snowball and follow me. It's very interesting being a high schooler and taking AP exams when Fox News is reporting on stepping down. Which brings me to Arizona. Now, I'm a fairly rational person, but anyone close to me will tell you that I'm obsessed with the phrase, everything happens for a reason. This phrase follows me everywhere, so much so that I even have it on the bracelet I wear every single day. When strange things began to happen on my trip, I knew it was for a reason. So after 2 days of full sun in the canyon, the next morning brought 5 inches of snow with it. After my dad and I left the canyon for Sedona, we took a small detour because of the snow and stumbled across a pack of white wolves. I held the gaze of what was clearly the leader of the pack as he overlooked us from a rocky bluff a few meters from the car, which I would later learn was regarded as a sign of changing luck in Native American culture. Once we got to Sedona, inspired by what felt like a spiritual encounter with the wolves, I figured I'd shed my logic-based inhibitions and give the fabled Sedona mystics a shot. We walked into the store and approached the receptionist. On her desk sat a beautifully hand-woven basket that caught my eye. A note was attached that said, "Psychics on a break, take 1 bracelet, free." I peered into the basket and saw only one left, picked it up, and examined the pendant attached. It had the letter U on it. Now, my name is not exactly the one that you would find on a keychain in a gift shop, so let alone my first initial. But there it was, and in the same style as a bracelet with my favorite saying. While the psychic there was unavailable, the lady at the desk told us about a mystic nearby that could read for us. Finally, here it was, my first venture into the world of the spiritual unknown, and I was struggling and had no clue of who I was in my daily life. I made an effort to wear clothing as nondescript as possible so that maybe I could finally get a real-life answer as to what my future held. But in the midst of our small talk, when I got there, I walked into the room and she uttered 5 familiar words. Everything happens for a reason. So prior to the reading, she had asked me to clear my mind and relax my hand on the metal reader, but instead my heart rate soared, a mix of nerves and excitement, and my mind became a flurry of memories incited by the electricity I suddenly felt at my fingertips. A supercut of my life flashed by, discovering my passion for activism and current events through my blog, That's Fan Behavior, at 12 years old in the middle of the pandemic, the early summer mornings spent riding the white Jaguar, seeing my parents' proud faces in the audience while being crowned Miss Teen USA, the dual name they gave me resonating through the room and reminding me of my identity as the daughter of 2 hardworking immigrants. As my mind tried desperately to imbue my essence into the metal reader, searching for an answer, I realized 2 things. The first was that not a single memory had been one of regret, failure, or the feeling of uncertainty that I had been burdened with the past few months. The second was that each event that I did remember had happened for a reason, to shape me into the person I was then and there. Despite there being billions of scenarios that could have played out according to the laws of quantum physics, life had lined up in a way so that the snow led to the detour led to the wolves, and the wolves to my sudden interest in the mystical realm. I realized my life was no different. And so, the trip reminded me of something very important. Everything that had ever happened to me had happened because of me. A title may be a great stepping stone, but it certainly isn't a lifelong dream. The dream is what makes you feel fulfilled, and for me, that was looking back on all the times I experienced what change truly meant. Volunteering with Rigid Books and seeing a child light up when they realize they own their very first book, when no matter what setting, city, or country I've been in, adults and kids alike have been able to relate to the white Jaguar story of acceptance, and when my own heart soared at the thought that a little girl who felt just as lost as me wouldn't feel so alone. Allowing myself that time away let me break free from the echo chamber of other people's opinions and even my own expectations. And in that moment, my rest became my way of resisting. I promise Arizona's tourism department did not hire me to convince you to find yourself there, but there is something to be said about prioritizing yourself. Society has conditioned us to view this as being selfish or egotistic, but in a culture based on individualism, I believe that remaining firm in your culture, your identity, even in your ethnic name, when so often people mispronounce names like mine, is an everyday act of resistance. And so, I found that rest and resistance are 2 sides of the very same coin. You cannot rest until you resist for what you believe in and until you achieve your dreams, but you cannot resist until you have properly rested yourself. And that means, no matter what, putting your well-being first. I'm certain that life is unpredictable. However, I'm also certain that you can create your own luck, your own opportunities, your own fate, and you will be grateful that everything happened for a reason. Thank you, guys.